Okay, I'm wearing a new outfit because it's the next day since the last video I made. I just wanted to quickly finish up the last bit about structure of Congress and who's who. One thing that has shown up on AP tests before is just knowing that Congress has legislative oversight, meaning that this is essentially how Congress checks the executive branch. And the job of the executive branch is to execute or enforce laws that are passed by Congress. However, Congress can actually check what the executive branch is pushing for by looking at how policy is being administered. Is it being administered constitutionally? Is it not? And then, of course, they can ask the court to issue or render judicial review. They also can monitor the implementation of bills. We know that because that's really their job. And as a way to influence support of certain bills, they can obviously, I don't want to use the word threaten, but maybe infer that they might cut budgets if that will garner support or oppress opposition if necessary. And there's a lot of people besides the official congressmen and women who actually do sort of this side of the job, and this is their staff. And the staff members are typically people who are experts in certain fields or have contacts within the executive bureaucracy, know people who are in different agencies. So, for example, a senator could tell his staff member, hey, get so-and-so on the phone, and it wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, how do I get a hold of that person? It would just be really quick and easy to do because those contacts have been established. There are a lot of people who work in the Capitol building who are not congressmen. Congressional staffs can be really, really big. I don't want to say superfluous, but maybe. And they have a couple of different staff members. So congressmen and women have personal staff. And these are the people who, going back to my example from earlier, if I needed to expedite the passport process, a personal staffer would be the one who works directly with me, one single constituent, to help with casework. Whereas committee staff work together in groups, and they work really on the legislative side, where they help organize hearings and research and actually write the legislation. Using my favorite show ever, House of Cards. If you guys can remember when Frank Underwood he was first working on that education reform bill, and he had from like Ivy League schools, I think it was Harvard, he had brought in this team of like the best and the brightest to actually write out the bill. That would be committee staff. Whereas his chief of staff, Doug Stamper, can't believe I just forgot his name, he's the one who might work more closely with individuals, where committee staff kind of works behind closed doors. And then staff agencies work to help assist with work that Congress is responsible for. So, for example, there is an agency called the Congressional Research Service, and their job really, let's say a senator says, hey, I need to find out I need to find an answer to something. It's the Congressional Research Service agency who would send somebody to the Library of Congress to actually research that question. The Library of Congress was actually first instituted or created for that reason, to be essentially the greatest resource place for Congress so they can make informed decisions. And so the staff agencies are the ones that sort of run around and do the research for congressmen. So definitely Congress people bring with them a team or an entourage, if you will, and those people do a lot of the work that Congress people get credit for. Okay, moving on. I just wanted to kind of finish on a lighter note here that because we live in a country that prides itself on empowering its citizens and individuals, just some people who, yes, these people have run for Congress in the past. Some of them were, in fact, elected. So Stephen Colbert, if you guys, I probably would vote for him if I were in his district. I put Rosanna. It's actually just Roseanne Barr. A comedian. She had a sitcom in the 1980s that was hilarious. She ran for a representative out of Hawaii, actually. Al Franken, who is a famous writer. He wrote on SNL for 2 decades and has written for the New York Times. Sonny Bono, you're probably thinking, who the heck is Sonny Bono, Miss Paget? If you guys have ever heard an oldies song called I've Got You, Babe. It was by Sonny and Cher, and you guys probably all know who Cher is. Well, Sonny Bono was Sonny, and he actually had his seat in Congress for a really long time. But before he was a politician, he definitely was better known for his performance, and his wife, Clay Aiken, oh my goodness, from American Idol. He actually won the primary a couple months ago in his home state of North Carolina in the district that he lives in. So go American Idol. Jerry Springer from, yes, the talk show Jerry Springer. Jerry. He ran for Congress. Clint Eastwood, the actor. And then Wyclef Jean, the rapper, are just some of the celebrities who've actually run for Congress in the past. And then it's funny, if you go and look at famous actors who've run for election. One of the first ones who pops up is Ronald Reagan, and I'm not sure if this generation of students are aware of this, but Ronald Reagan definitely started out for a career acting, and he actually was in a lot of movies, probably most we haven't heard of because they're so old, but in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, he definitely was well known as an actor, and when he was elected president, he actually was the oldest elected president ever up to that point. And then Arnold Schwarzenegger, obviously, who was known as Kindergarten Cop before he was known as the Governator, and then Jesse Ventura, who made a name for himself in WWF or WWE, one of those professional wrestling organizations. He actually became the governor of Minnesota. So just wanted to finish by showing you some of the better known folks who have run for Congress. Oh my gosh, why is it?